Hey everybody, welcome. Today I wanted to go over the Shift migration utility if you're looking to migrate from ALM to Octane, what that entails, what kind of entities that's going to copy over for you, and the process itself. So we're going to start by opening our Shift Octane utility. We're going to go through the next just to give you an idea of what this looks like. I will not walk through this entire process as depending on the project size can take quite a while, and I've already done this migration. But this is what it's going to look like for you when you first do this. So under our source settings, we just want to enter our ALM server, the API key that we've created, the secret, and we want to connect to our environment. And here we're going to select the project and the source domain that we want to migrate. I'm just doing an ALM demo. And here we'll enter our Octane credentials, our API key, and the project we've created there will connect. I've already created one under our shared workspace called ALM demo, and I've done that migration. Something important to notice here is the Octane user, this default, will be set to any user that is migrated that was deactivated or deleted, that no longer exists in the project. So if a test or a defect is migrated, that user no longer exists, it's going to use our default name that we assign here. So just something to note. I'm not going to run this as we already have. And most of these configurations are going to be set in your migration properties file right here for your environment. A lot of it's just going to be right here under these entities. You want to be set to true for most of this. A lot of other settings we've gone over in prior videos and we'll probably go over in future videos that I won't go over today. So let's go ahead and take a look at our ALM side and what we've got over here for this ALM demo project. Looks like I know we've got some requirements. Okay, so our flight app functional, let's make sure. Folder levels, there's some parameters you need to set on your Octane side. The default folder level, I think defaults to 1, so it only go 1 folder level deep. I believe the max is 20. I set it to the max every time, just to avoid any issues in the future of any kind of subfolders not copying over. But just a note, so in Octane, if we come over here to our workspace, actually, before we look at requirements, let's go ahead and, since we're already here in the actual space, we can see here that it's migrated over our users for that project. And it will also migrate all of your lists, your entities, your forms that you've had for each specific project. If you use one form for all of your workspaces, then you want to make sure in that config file that you specify to migrate those to your master workspace, which is your default shared workspace, this top one here that I just went to. That way you do not end up with entities under each project, because then they're going to exist in your environment already and you're not going to be able to use them if you want to create a new form here. So just something to be on the lookout for. So going back to our demo here, let's go back to the actual space. And let's look at our requirements from our dashboard here. Just go to requirements. I've already navigated down, but we can see here that all of our flight login, verify the login screen exists. Verify the login has a button. Then over here we can look at defects. So we have a total 16 defects. Let's find one. We've got one with an attachment here. It is Safari not supported. One thing you're going to notice is that your defect IDs do not translate over into Octane. This is by design. So here it's going to be defect ID 14. In Octane it'll be something completely different. You can just find it by description. I'll show you another way to verify that that was indeed actually 14. But let's go find this defect now in Octane. So if we go back up here, we'll go straight to defects. Under quality. Okay, so under here we can see Safari not supported. Okay, so the defect ID here is 8014. It was 14. That's not always gonna end up lucky and correlate to 14 as being 8000, but it worked out in this case. You can always come into the attachments and see, based on the history log, what that was in ALM. It'll tell you at the top here. So we can see in ALM it existed as ID 14 and now it is 8014. And then we can also look at the attachment that it had and verify that that did come over. Perfect. And under our test line, we've also got a test plan and test lab. All of our test runs and our sprints. And then if we look at our test plan, we can find one. Again, these IDs are not going to correlate. We can see 1188 validate user profile. So we can come over into Octane side. I've already done a search here just to find it easily. It's ID 16269. Anyway, we can see that that did copy over here. It does have its attachment. Take it film. That's basically the gist of it. There will be a lot of configuration you need to do in that properties file for your environment, but otherwise it's fairly straightforward. Good luck.